Welcome to a new episode of the XR Magazine podcast. I am Diana Olerik, your host, and today we're going to be speaking with Jason Yim. He's the founder and CEO at Trigger XR, the world's most experienced XR developer and creative agency. Trigger XR is an award-winning XR agency that creates AR, augmented reality, MR, mixed reality, and VR, virtual reality experiences that connect people to brands, sports, entertainment, and e-commerce. For over 14 years, Jason has been strategizing, building, and running XR solutions for the world's top brands, helping them to launch cutting-edge AR, VR, and immersive experiences while leading them into the metaverse. Jason has been an innovator in mixed reality and has led the company through more than 300,000 hours of XR development, notably as a launch partner for Niantic's Lightship program and Qualcomm Snapdragon Spaces for HMD, head-mounted devices, the augmented reality content partner for the global XR content telco alliance, and as a preferred partner for Meta, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, 8th Wall, and Verizon's 5G innovation team. Jason's recent high-profile work demonstrates the wide spectrum of use cases for mixed reality, including entertainment marketing, for example, Jurassic World, Spider-Man, and Star Wars franchises, fan engagement, for example, NBA, NHL, the PGA Tour, and XR retail like Nike, Lego, Walmart. Finally, enterprise and 5G solutions like AT&T, Honda, Verizon, and of course, many more. Jason is a world-recognized mixed reality speaker with talks at major technology and industry conferences, including AWS, Adweek, CAS, CS Unity Unite, TEDx, and Augmented World Expo. He has also been featured across leading tech publications such as CNET, Digiday, Engadget, Forbes, TechCrunch, VentureBeat, Wire, XR Today, and many, many more. Jason has 7 assigned patents in XR and AR and was named to Next Reality City People to Watch in Augmented Reality. One of the most important things that I like to add to all his impressive record is his approach of social impact that he has created at Trigger XR. So by what we can find in their own website, it says kindness and charity are integral to Trigger's core values. Each holiday season, they select a cause that is close to their hearts and make annual contributions to a relevant nonprofit organization. Past donations have gone to Habitat for Humanity, the Marine Mammal Center, and the Diné Navajo National Youth Group. So I am super excited to get to know all of these amazing insight, especially in MR, in mixed reality, and his approach to business and experiences and even a little bit of philosophy onto reality. Let's do it. I can't wait. Thank you so much, Jason, for being here today. I'm super excited because, you know, Trigger is a company that have had such a record of building for amazing brands. So I'm super excited. Please let us know, Jason, how are you doing today? And how did Trigger XR got started, as well as maybe a little bit of your career?
Sure, yeah. Actually had a previous agency that was a digital marketing agency, mostly for film clients. And when I started Trigger, but that was with other partners and with investors. And then Trigger was something I just wanted to start on my own first. And then we had some core members join us, but we were very much focused early on, also on film entertainment, but a lot of advert gaming. So we like to build games for the movie studios to help market the movies. We did a lot of, we had a whole office, a studio in Shanghai that was up to like 45 people at one point, which was 2D artists, 3D artists, game designers, game programmers. But all of that, I think, became very relevant when AR, the technology, became available. So we could take all those kind of learnings and expertise that we had in storytelling in the 3D space and interactivity in the 3D space and apply it to AR. So
Yeah, that's exciting.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then since then, like with Trigger, we are the most experienced XR developer in the world. We do the AR work for instance, like on the entertainment side, Star Wars, Spider-Man, Jurassic. We just finished Avatar 2. On the sports side, we do a lot of the big sports leagues. So our teams can be on projects with the Dallas Cowboys, with the NBA, the PGA Tour. And then on the commerce side, we do a lot of work with Walmart, with Lego, Nike right now. So it's fun that the team gets to work on so many big brands and big projects.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much. So how was that transition from filming, from a studio focused on filming, to XR? Did you have to just rely on the team and with this specialty with the skills, or how did you go about transitioning to this media now?
I mean, the transition wasn't, it took a while because what happened was we first tried out AR in 2009 for a movie project. Actually, just met with Joe Epstein. He used to be at Sony. He's now at TikTok there. But he was our client for this one project. It was for District 9, and it was webcam AR. So you have to print out a piece of paper, hold it in front of your webcam, and you'd see the AR on the piece of paper. So it was very clunky, right? Like you needed a webcam and it's like a mirror thing. But we were very excited about the technology even when we first saw that, and it was low res 3D. But the idea of like, oh, my favorite movie, I can have like, I love, Star Wars, for instance. I can actually see a Star Destroyer in my room, or I can see a Stormtrooper in my living room or something, was super exciting. So, but it took a while for the technology to actually really improve and actually move onto mobile devices. So that was the big change. So in 2012, Qualcomm in R&D, they had a group called Vuforia. It was a technology that was an AR platform for phones. And we met them I met their CEO at GDC in San Francisco. They were just doing a small presentation. No one had really heard about AR, but we were already excited in doing it. So we kind of partnered up very early. So it was Qualcomm's, all their tech teams and their programmers like inventing this technology. And then we would be the first to commercialize. We would use our kind of creative expertise and like our design skills to make it very interesting, right? Because and that was super fun because we used to joke around with the Qualcomm guys whenever they had a new technology, no matter how amazing it was, they had a teapot that they would use as the demo 3D object in the scene. And it was always just funny that no matter, it could be something really cool, like the first time, that you could do tabletop scanning and they'd still place a teapot there. So we could take that same technology and we would, on that one, for instance, we worked with McDonald's for the World Cup. It was like at that point, it was like the biggest AR campaign in the world. It was a billion markers on all the fry boxes, on like the, tray linings at McDonald's, all would bring up an AR game. But that was us with the ad agency, and then Qualcomm with the technology to come up with a campaign like that.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Yeah, that kind of leads me to ask you, what has been the most challenging and also maybe even creative project that you've worked so far? And what lessons did you learn from that amazing project?
Yeah, that's a super hard choice for us because we do get to work on so many different things in so many different directions, So I think one project that we're very fond of, we work with a car company with their advanced design team. So that's one of probably our closest relationships at Trigger. We've worked with them for the past 6 years, where every year they are designing a new car that's kind of like the North Star car for the brand. But we get to tell the story about the car in XR. So sometimes we would early years we were doing just AR experiences, like you sit in a physical car and you see the HMI, the human machine interface in AR. And then later years, we changed to VR, where you're on a stage, everything is virtual, but the seat moves. We have smell machines, we have wind machines. When you step out of the car, it's artificial terrain and it feels different based on the scene that you're at. And then the recent years, it's a true mixed reality. So it's using a Vario XR3 headset. So those are, I think, $9,000 enterprise mixed reality. Yeah. But it's amazing. They built a full stage that's a chroma key, which means it's all green screen with green props and stuff. And so when we go into the world to look at the car, you can actually have actors move in and out. You know, let's say it's a future pickup truck or something like that. You can actually go to the virtual car and pull something out of a physical thing out of the cab in the back, you know, or the pickup bed. So you can interact with these physical objects in a digital world and physical real people in this digital environment. So that's been, I think, the bleeding edge of the work there. Yeah.
Definitely, it's amazing. I think that I saw a video about this headset that one of these big influencers put out there, and it also during the experience was so shocking that was even going to the philosophical point of how are we gonna distinguish between when something is this real that we call reality and those environments that are gonna be very immersed, very mesh with this. It's like putting another layer to these objects and to the surroundings. What are your thoughts about that? It's exciting because you're creative, you experience it yourself. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really interesting because it is kind of I mean, the first time we tried the XR3, we've been in this space for a long time, and we've tried every headset. We've done projects. We've probably done 20 HMD projects and stuff like that. But the first time we tried that on, and in that experience, it was like this leap.
Wow.
You know, like, whoa, what is this? It's like 4K in each eye, so 8K total resolution. Like it just you can really see what the future was going to be. So I mean, I think that kind of really helped us really believe about this future of like truly mixed reality, right? Like there's going to be a time when you can't, it's going to be hard to tell the difference between digital and physical. But more importantly for us, I think that is like, even when you are in the physical world, there's going to be this real world metaverse overlaid over everything around you, you know? So the idea of just being able to look at anything and seeing the digital content wrap around it kind of on demand, I think is going to be really powerful and just changes how humans interact with the world, changes how humans interact with information, and also with each other. So we can feel that we're, you know, I don't think it's even stepping up. It's probably even like a slope. I feel like it's gathering speed and getting faster and faster and faster, you know, and it'll just start to change even more dramatically soon. So
yes, wow, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that particular experience. And speaking about the topic of MR, what would be the difference between creating, particularly for VR and AR, and now, because you're the experts in MR, the leaders, what would be the difference in the creation process?
yeah, so I mean, with VR, it's completely immersive. So you're just replacing everything around you. And I think the nuance on VR is going to be all the kind of other kind of haptic things that you can change. So on that car project, for instance, we had you could sit in a seat that would move in 6 degrees of freedom to match the visuals, and you could have wind machines and you could have smell machines like that. All those affecting your other senses besides the VR, besides the visual sense, is going to be I think the next area to push on the VR side. On the AR and on the mixed reality or XR side or MR side, I think the challenge is and not the challenge, but the challenge and the opportunity is that the real world provides so much context. So, we've seen AR where you just place it on, you can place something on your table, you can place something on your floor, and it's the same thing that you place no matter where you go. Like that's very beginner level AR. I think as the technology improves, we will understand the room. So if you place a character and there's a couch there, the character knows to sit on the couch. When you see a character, an AR character outside in the world, it knows, or inside a shop. Let's say you see them inside a Target, they know where they're standing, they know the weather outside, they know what's in your shopping bag. Like all this data is and context is part of the AR content that you see. So I think that's going to be kind of what we call smart AR will be the next level there. So then the content creation, I think on the AR side, that's a little different, is always being, it's not just digital, it's digital plus physical. And so always being aware of like the physical context and physical environment and using the best technology to try to understand that and connect to that in a meaningful way. So
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, I was gonna actually add on that the context that you say. So by using, even also integrating artificial intelligence, algorithms, etc., this world that we know now is gonna be able to, we're gonna be able to see it replicated in a way that seems smart, that it really flows well with what we call physical right now. Yeah, thank you so much. So
yeah,
how
the believability, right? Oh,
sorry?
the believability of everything.
Yes.
Yes, because of the AI, because of the understanding will go up in a big way.
Right now the AR that we see is placing objects, but we manipulate them, and it's like a static still, right?
Yeah.
But later on, we're gonna have that fluidity of understanding the context of how things behave in the real world. So that's exciting. And how companies right now are using these for their marketing of their physical products, for example, maybe some cases that you like to share how actually they are doing this, and how users that don't understand the technology actually are engaging with the experience.
So I mean, we are excited because I feel like kind of XR AR kind of applies to the whole normal, like every part of the sales funnel. Like you can, at the very top, you can have experiences that are more about just engagement. So for instance, on movie projects, recently on Jurassic, we created an app with Niantic, and the XR Telco Content Alliance, but it allowed people to see, to find the 10 dinosaurs from the movie, and we got the models from ILM. So they look great, they move great. It's using some of Niantic's technology, so it's actually detecting the environment that it's in. It's occluding behind trees and things like that. So trying to be as believable as possible. But that's more of like a wow moment, and you're trying to get as much time and connect them to the brand, or the IP, and then further down the kind of the sales funnel, there's kind of AR is great for kind of product information, teaching you about the benefits of something. So we've actually seen this a lot in retail, where we can put QR codes and you can scan and then see an AR experience about the product. So now you can do this in web AR. Before we might have used like Facebook or Snap codes or something like that. But we are seeing some of our best engagement numbers are around these products. And I don't think the consumer even knew that they were looking at AR. They weren't trying to find a cool character. They were just, hey, I'm interested in this product, scan this code, and then we would explain it in AR. But it's very utilitarian, right? It actually helps because your display space is not enough. Maybe if it's this technology in the product, you have this much, on your signage, you can't explain all the technology there. But with a QR code, I can suddenly send them to a much bigger experience to explain everything in the product. And then of course there's a try on would be the next level. So this is like if you've seen Snap lenses, you look at yourself in the camera, you can apply makeup, you could try on sunglasses. Actually, Amazon just announced a partnership with Snap, where they are, I think it's like a 1,000 plus glasses you'll be able to try on. So it's not just one brand or here's 5 glasses that you can try on. It's like thousands you can pick between. So that's once you can try something on virtually, the conversion numbers go up, a lot. In some cases, it could be 11x versus like a 2D image or something like that. And then also the returns go way down because people have actually tried it. Yeah, so I think that's super powerful in all kinds of shopping. And I think, very soon, we've been shopping from 2D photographs since the Sears catalog in late 1800s. And I think in a few years, people are going to shop for everything from 3D objects. You'll look back and go, why? How did I make a decision based off of?
Oh no,
it's so clunky. Yeah. Why can't I just see it in life size and on me instead of like trying to imagine what it looks like and stuff.
Imagine. Right now we're doing this. Yeah, that's amazing. And when you mentioned the brands being able to measure, or the measurements that you talk about, how brands are able right now to measure their KPIs, how they are integrating that. That's something that we want to learn so we can become more educated onto what do we need to place in our apps, or how do we need to make them so actually the brand gets the benefit, because that's the ultimate objective.
Yeah, so that's actually still like that's a developing area for sure. Like, so I'm on the IAB, I think now it's called a Metaverse Board, but before it was the AR board. And on that board, one of the subgroups is on measurement. So working with the teams at Snap and at Meta to try to figure out, more measurement standards for XR. So there are typical things that you could do that, like any other app, you can just track engagement, you can track time, you can track, completion, or how many things they looked at and stuff like that. So, and then you can also track within the experience very detailed kind of activity. So did the person place this dinosaur? Did they do, this part of the game? Did they feed the dinosaur? Like all those things can be tracked and presented back to the client. But the place that's I think that's going to be the most powerful, that thankfully the people at Snap and Meta are investing in kind of solving, is if you have 1 minute of someone watching a YouTube video versus 1 minute 1 minute of someone interacting in AR, what is the difference? Like, I think we as humans naturally understand that if you are engaging with something and looking at it from all angles and interacting with it for 1 minute, that should mean more than just sitting there, leaning back, doing something else and watching something, just linear video on YouTube. So I think those are the things that we want to find out. Like, what's the real kind of like unique benefit of XR that we can measure and prove out, that's different from other digital media.
Yes, that's amazing. I really like that you shared about this, how this has been taught, or the standards, or actually from these big companies, in order to understand that from a research point of view, and how brands and the economy actually can even have an impact of the experiences, how they are designed, and the impact or the results, the outcomes from that. Yeah, thank you so much.
And it's also, of course, like all the direct impact from transactions. So we can measure how many ticket sales come from the lenses, or how many things are bought. I mean, one other benefit that we've seen, actually, kind of, if you take AR gaming and then tie it to a shopping cart, a shopping experience, we've actually seen cart size increase, average cart size increase because of that. So not only are they buying something, but they're actually buying more of something. And we feel like that there's some equation there of like, because when you're playing the game, you're more engaged, you're like leaning in, you're not leaning back, and you're actually building the affinity for the product during that kind of fun experience. So then when you buy, you buy more of it. So those are the things that I think, like, with more research we can kind of prove out and really show the power of this technology.
Yeah, thank you. So do you think that the technology is gonna tend to start to get even more implemented, even for cases that we didn't expect, like that, in terms of gaming, like the actual gaming experience? Is that what you see that might be happening? Because the experiences that sometimes we have now when we are shopping, etc., not all of them are about gaming, right? But
Yeah.
in your experience, do you see that that is going to tend to happen, like more and more gaming experiences in commerce?
Yes, I don't think that'll be like the I think we'll see gaming experiences everywhere because it's so natural in the medium, and I think everyone's looking for if you're not looking for utility, you're looking for entertainment, so that's a great way to sell something, right? Like, make something fun as part of the shopping experience.
Okay.
But I think the innovation is actually going to really start kind of like going up on the utility side, so when you go shopping, if when you're shopping, the system knows all your measurements, so when you're looking at clothes in AR, like, it's the right fit already, or
Just
being able to swap out clothing to try entire outfits at one time, instead of, when you go to e-commerce, it's one article of clothing at a time. So I think there's going to be a lot of big leaps and bounds on the utility side, that actually, I think, drives adoption more than just entertainment. Like, I think we've established the entertainment and piece. It's going to grow, but it's like a known animal. We know that works. The thing that's going to start really attracting consumers is just like, in addition to being super fun and entertaining, it's also very useful across all of these things in my life. So
yeah. And how
so we
about
see it as we just see it as like, there's play, there's work, which is enterprise, and then there's life. So the life piece is the bit that is going to be kind of evolving more in the next few years, I think.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Thank you. So how about the technology needed for this? Do you still think that the phones, the standard technology that we have now would have the capabilities for this, or are consumers needed to actually use other type of devices in order to access this? Because when you mention that in context, what is going to tend to happen in context, you could have these amazing experiences where it kind of reads your measurements, so it works in context with your individuality. Does it require a different type of device, or that is something that works with the technology that we have now?
I mean, it's going to be we are working with Qualcomm's, they have a Snapdragon XR fund. It's $100 million fund. And it's so Snapdragon is Qualcomm's chipset and OS for HMDs, so AR HMDs. So we're on several kind of showcase projects with them, and we really think that is going to be our future, but it's going to take some time to get there. So there's a lot of kind of big technology leaps that have to happen along the way. So recently, a project that we just worked on with Duran Duran, it was showcased. It's the first time it was kind of wireless glasses. So all the processing and computation is still on your phone that you can keep in your pocket. Normally, you need a tether, like a wire, a cable. And this is the first time they have a Bluetooth fast enough that it's completely wireless. So that's going to be a big leap, right? Because people won't have to wear glasses that have some, cable dangling. But there's other big chip advancements that need to come for mass adoption. But I think that on the consumer side, it's not like one day we don't use AR on a phone and then suddenly HMDs come out and then everyone's going to switch. I think it's a very iterative, like slow progression where we're going to use the phones. The phones are going to get more powerful and do more things, and we'll do more and more AR on our phones on the day-to-day life, And then at some point when the glasses, uh, you know, get to the technology that or capabilities that we need them to, we will we will do a we'll start swapping. But we will be so used to those features because we've been using them on the phone. But suddenly on the glasses, the hands-free part of it makes it easier, right? So and then I think like in the future, it's kind of the same as like sometimes I use my iPad, sometimes I use my laptop, sometimes I use my phone, and sometimes I have my big screen on my desktop, like, and then I might have VR goggles. So I don't think we'll ever get to maybe you only use one device all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll just be the mix. What is the mix between the devices? Yeah.
Yeah. Huh, that sounds super exciting. What is your take on this? Because you've been a little bit more in touch with these advanced technologies, etc. Of course, nobody knows the future, how that is going to evolve and exactly when. But what is your best guess into like 10 years from now, 15 years? How do you see it?
Oh, I think we're going to see big advancements within the next 3 to 5 years, for sure. Just because we know that what's happening on the chipset.
Yeah.
We're pretty sure Apple's gonna release something, hopefully, fingers crossed,
I'm
this
excited
year.
about that.
Yeah.
Because I'm
So
a user, I'm an Apple user. All my devices are from Apple. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that they're so good at making something very consumer friendly, and they make sure that there's enough content for users to adopt it.
Absolutely.
So that will be a big leap for the whole industry too.
Again, yeah, that's gonna help the industry as well. Yes, for sure. So I like to start going into the end part of the podcast by highlighting something amazing that happens at Trigger XR, which is that you have like a give back initiative. And I feel that is so beautiful. So I wanted to bring it forward to let us know a little bit about how is that giving back you have implemented it in Trigger XR, and what does it mean, especially for the holidays?
Yeah, so it was kind of part of our mandate when we first started the company. We wanted to make sure that if we have a successful year, that we do something to give back. My dad who passed and my mom, they were both in the kind of architectural field. So when we were looking for projects to give back, we were always looking for, instead of going into a general fund, just donating money, we wanted to donate to build projects. So to actually have something that's a little bit more permanent. So if you look at our kind of charity work, we funded things like girls' schoolhouses in Afghanistan, orphanage housing in Cambodia. We do a lot of animal stuff too. So anywhere from like ranger stations. We did with the Diane Fossey's group in Africa. We've done animal ranger stations in Cambodia. We've actually funded a rescue boat for the Marine Mammal Center up in Northern California to save seals and whales and stuff like that in California. But our most recent projects are actually with the Navajo Nation. So we've been working with the Diné youth group out there. We've been helping fund a youth center that they're building. The Navajo kind of nation got really impacted by COVID. So we felt like that was an area that I felt like really kind of needed the funding. So we built we're funding a library, a small library in this youth center. There's an arts and crafts area. So Lego is actually donating all the Lego bricks for the arts and crafts area, and then we're donating for the performing arts stage as well. And then from there, we've actually, the exciting thing is we started working with the Navajo Tech University, which is next door. So we just finished our XR 101 series, lecture series with them. So we're trying to see if we can take the knowledge that we have at Trigger and then teach it to some of the kind of underserved communities out there. So try to kind of, make technology equally available to everybody. And we feel like some of the tools like this from our partners like Snap and Meta and stuff, they they're talented people everywhere. So if we can teach them how to use the tools, they can quickly get from, not having any experience to enough knowledge to actually make a freelance job out of it and actually start earning money and start, being an earner within our industry. So we're excited to see where that could go.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, and I feel very super inspired. To be honest, I've been also connecting with some companies, but I haven't seen one so far that have this amazing program, and that's why I decided to mention it, so more people get to know about the other beautiful part of Trigger XR. Thank you for sharing that. I think that many more companies should be taking this example and give back to the community. It has, of course, a big social impact, and it also brings more connection to you as a brand, and people recognize that this is a leadership act. Thank you so much. So yeah, I think that when I was in Churchill, when I was in Thompson, sorry, and you mentioned you were in Churchill, I also saw there like this is a remote place, and I saw this beautiful opportunity of bringing some sort of project like tiny housing or something like that. So when you mention architecture, I've had that in the back of my mind and I feel so aligned. I said, wow, how amazing it would be to bring tiny housing to these communities that are underrepresented and they are living in remote areas where sometimes even the foods have to get there by an airplane. So
yeah,
thank you. Yeah, I feel totally related with those beautiful causes. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, it was really kind of interesting working with the Diné youth group and like seeing what they have to struggle with, like it is crazy to be, we're in Los Angeles, it is 2022, like you have all this around you, and then, in a few states away at the Navajo Nation, they may not have running water. Some of them don't have electricity. So it was even things like how do you get, they used to because the schools were closed, they would have to drive buses up into the neighborhoods with like a Wi-Fi hotspots, and then the kids would have to come and sit around the bus just to get the like Wi-Fi, internet connection to do their homework and things like that. So I don't know, it's yeah, whatever people can do to kind of try to even the playing field, make it a little bit more fair, help others, I think is a worthy cause for sure.
It's a great example. Thank you so much. Well, you've been super, super amazing at giving us all of this insight, this value, sharing your experience, sharing the amazing work that Trigger XR is doing. We're super grateful. Thank you so much, Jason. Is there anything else that you wish I had asked you today? Maybe I missed something. We never know.
No, I think that was a fun interview. Thank you so much, Diana. A pleasure to be on your podcast.
Thank you so much, and see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
See you.